Alright, this is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe. So in today's video, it's a 360 degree video. And we are currently on Palouse River Drive, headed towards Indian Hills Drive. That's the first location that Bryan Kohberger's white Elantra was spotted on November 13th, 2022 at around 3:26. Now, it was spotted on two other cameras as well. So this is the route that he took that night. Now, it's also possible on this next street that he came in from the left, coming up here. I think at the top up here, if I remember correctly. However, I think he went this direction because Palouse River Drive is something he was familiar with, because that's where he came out when he left the scene. He came out on Palouse River Drive and then went somewhere for a while, and then his phone pinged near Blaine. Alright, and just now we're going to turn left on Indian Hills Drive, and just to the left right now where it's actually right here, this house right here, there's a surveillance camera on the left there on the right side of the building. You can pause the video. So let me tell you how these 360 degree videos work. So you can stop the video at any time and look completely around. On a desktop, you put your mouse on the screen, even if it's in Windows. I mean, like, let's say you're watching on YouTube, you just left click on the window and drag it around, and you can look wherever you want. You can look around while it's moving too, but you can actually pause it and look around. You can look around while it's moving as well. So I'm going to let you guys look around and do whatever you want to do. But this is the route that he took. Now, just down to the left over there is where the police department is. So he drives around up here on Indian Hills Drive. And if you want to do the timing yourself, just do it on a clock and, use the probable cause. It was like 3:26 and some odd seconds. In fact, let me look for you while we're moving here. It was at 3:26:35, and then there was another camera on another house right next to 763. It was on 755 Indian Hills Drive, and that was at 3:26:43. And then at 3:28:56, the vehicle is spotted near the A&W. Alright, but yeah, so on Indian Hills Drive we have at 787 Indian Hills Drive, 763 and 755, and that was 3:26:10, 3:26:35, and 3:26:43, and then at 3:28:56 they have it showing up over at the A&W. Now, I think that might be 10 seconds off. Maybe it should be 28 and 46 seconds. And right now we're about to get to that intersection. So here it is. Now, so you can see the A&W on the right there. And again, pause the video if you'd like at the A&W, and you can see there's surveillance cameras on it. And the vehicle right now is on Steiner Avenue, I believe. Or Lauder, it might be Lauder Avenue. I think it was Steiner, now it's Lauder. Okay, but right there on the left, that big white building, that is the building that picked up the vehicle driving by on two different cameras, one in the front and one on the side that we just drove by. and that is 1125 Ridge Road. And the first camera that picked it up on the front of the house was camera 2, and then camera 1 picked it up as it drove by from the side. Now in a moment here, we're going to drive by Linda Lane. And Linda Lane is coming up, and it's right here. This is Linda Lane on the left. You can pause and look up. At the very top up there, there's a camera that filmed the Elantra coming in at around 3:29 and 48 seconds. Alright, now we're turning onto King Road. And again, you can always pause it. And right when you're turning left here to the right, just immediately to the right there is 1119 King Road, and this right here is 1112 King Road on the right. And you can pause it, and the light to the right of the door is where the camera was. Now we're driving behind 500 Queen Road, and it drives around the back, and then it comes out at 3:30:55. It travels behind 500 Queen Road, and then at 3:31:18 the headlights can be seen on the exterior of 1127, which is coming up here. So as the vehicle comes around right here, law enforcement knows where the white Elantra is, because as it comes around right here, the headlights go through the trees and hit the top of 1127, which is the building to the left of 1119 that you can actually see. Now I'll show you here in a second. And then it stops back here, you know, on its first pass for like a minute, and it does this 3 different times. All right, but see that building right in front of us? That is 1119. The building to the left is 1127, and that's where the lights hit as the car went around. Now this is actually driving up the Linda Lane to 1320, and you can look around. The building that was straight down the street as we were coming in, that's the building that filmed the Elantra driving by on Taylor Avenue right there in front of us. Or right, you know, we're about to get to Taylor Avenue again. But it films the Elantra driving by at precisely 3:29 and 48 seconds. And now we're going back down Taylor Avenue. And this would sort of mimic on pass number 3, when the DoorDash driver was there. He did not go back into the complex. He left and went this direction, and then I think this is still Lauder Avenue here. And then just to the right is the Ridge Road camera. And so this is how the car was driving when it picked up the fact that it was missing a front license plate, and they were able to make out the year range from 2014 to 2016. And the only reason they got that footage was because of the DoorDash driver. And so this is what the vehicle was doing. That one pass, it went this direction. The one loop, it switched around and did something different because of the DoorDash driver. And now we're, I believe, on maybe Paradise Drive or Ridge Road. I think it's Paradise Drive. And I think we're now back up on Walanta Drive, headed towards the residence again. Yeah, right here. So you take a right, and this goes straight down to King Road. So currently we're on Walanta Drive, and then it becomes Taylor Avenue right at the sign that's down here. Put the end down there. And right here where we're driving, that's where the camera on 1112 King Road picks up the lights of the vehicle traveling behind it. And so here we are driving in to King Road again. And see, there's 1112 King Road. It picks up the vehicles driving in. We've seen the surveillance footage of that. I'll put out a video that has all the surveillance footage in it again. And now we're behind 500 Queen Road. And then as we come around this corner, there's a camera on the building that you see up there that's 2 stories with the decks on it. Underneath there's a camera that filmed the Elantra coming around, and that's 1330 Linda Lane. And then here we are again coming around, and the headlights would then hit the top of 1127, and then the vehicle would stop, and on the final pass it stopped for 13 minutes before then being seen on 1127 right there, speeding away at a high rate of speed when the vehicle is right here at 4:20 and 47 seconds. And then you see it go really fast around this corner, but it's really only going at like 25 miles an hour. And then right here, we're going to turn left, and I guess we'll see what we're doing next. This is a long 360-degree video, but it allows you watching to look at everything. And what I would do is get out the one of the documents that came out that had the entire timeline of surveillance footage, and you can see all these different locations. I've actually made a video that shows all of that. So here we are on Costcoga Drive. And I believe this one might be where it is, actually, where I drive the route that I think the Elantra may have taken, with Kohberger driving, obviously, home after. But he took a really crazy route. I don't think he turned right on Palouse River Drive. I think he went to the end of Palouse River Drive, heading left or east, and then turned right and went on some various roads to get out of there. Now this might actually be where we're going to go look at where the police station is from up here. When Amber, a friend of mine, and we drove around out here, she's one of my moderators, we drove around, and we noticed that just one street down, you can park and get a great view of the police station. I mean, what a better place to look to see if there was a response after the homicide. So maybe he went down there for a couple minutes, and he noticed that there was no activity. So that's not what I did. I showed you how it does a U-turn on Ridge Road there. And now I'm going to head out the way he would have headed out. Or maybe that was Costcoga Drive and Paradise Drive, where he did the U-turn. So this is Conestoga right here, excuse me. This is Conestoga. I'm doing this all by memory, so if I'm stuttering and stammering, I apologize, but this is Conestoga. I'm just watching a version of this, not in 360, so that I can do a narrative, and then I'll put this audio underneath the 360-degree video that you're watching. And you can, like I said before, you can stop at any time and look around. But I haven't really seen any Elantras driving around. I thought everybody had 2.5. So we're on Conestoga right here. Still haven't seen any Elantras. I thought they were all over the place. Oh, here comes a white car. There's a white car, and oh, it's not an Elantra. Darn it! Swing and a miss. That car over there, nope, not an Elantra. So we're on Conestoga, and when it gets to the bottom here, we are on Palouse River Drive. Again, if you have a cell phone when you're watching this, I guess I haven't explained that, so it's not again. If you have a cell phone, you can actually put the phone, look at it, and then move your body around, but keep it in front of your face, or just move your head and the phone together, and you can look around as well. Alright, now this is when we go and check out the police station. Now that's right, I think in this video it doesn't have the route that goes the way I think he went after the homicides. That'll be in the next one. It's actually a very beautiful drive, I mean, the rolling hills and everything like that. But that puts him out on Highway 95 at around 4:46 or 7, which is almost exactly the 4:48 that's in the documents. And so if he had a pre-dug hole over there, he could easily just have driven over there, stopped for just a moment, put it in there, covered it up with debris and then a rock or something on top of it, and drove away. And it could be anywhere on that long drive. So we're driving around. I believe we're still on Conestoga, going back the way we came. So this video has what we've just been looking at, and then also when the vehicle drives down to Clarkston, it shows you the Costco, Kate's Cup of Joe, and the Albertsons, and you can just get a perspective of where he was. That's the first place that the phone, his vehicle, and his physical being were all linked up with the same suspect vehicle that they've been tracking along with the phone, which is also in the same location as cameras 3 or 4 different times. So you gotta always remember that the cast data and the surveillance footage marries up multiple times in this case. Alright, and the police station is just down to the right, so you can always pause at any time and get some bearings. But on the map, if you look at the map of the area, you'll see this one little street that ends right here, and then off to the left down there, the square roof building, that is the police station. So after the homicides, he could have easily came down here for a minute or two, or at any time, and just kind of checked the status. If he saw police, heading away with sirens blaring, maybe he would think, okay, they're on to me, but he's in a place behind that the police would not go first. He's on Costcoga Drive, and back there they would be going on Taylor Avenue. So now we're down in Clarkston, everybody. And this is the Costco that he tried to get into and failed. Alright, and again, you can pause at any time, look around. I think he went into this front area over here. He parked maybe back here, and then in that front area where you see the Costco in front of the building, that looks like the main entrance, and he was denied entrance in there. I'll drive by there. Wasn't allowed in. He got back in his car, and then he exited the Costco. I think he even went this direction. Yeah, so that was right around like 12:37 he was there. And then you make a right here, you can see the big Costco building on the right as well, and then heads in this direction, and this is where it'll go into the chef store parking lot and the Kate's Cup of Joe that we've all heard about. Now his phone was utilizing the same resources as Kate's Cup of Joe, you know, not just when he got in there, but while he was in the area. But then the white Elantra shows up in there while his phone was pinging in the area as well. So you can see that little tiny little green roof building on the right there. That's Kate's Cup of Joe, and apparently he drove through, and perhaps he even ordered a coffee. But apparently he turned right there, went through, and then I'll just kind of pick it up where he would have been. He was over here, and then he does a U-turn back here, probably exactly what I'm doing, and then he heads out. Now I actually stay in here so we can drive by the U.S. Chef store and show you where the surveillance cameras are. So he would have actually left right now and then turned left, but I'm going to drive over here, and you can pause the camera. You can see there's a surveillance camera right there on the left of the Chef store, and there's also a camera right here on the end of the Chef store on the building. Alright, so now we'll pick up where the vehicle would have gone. I'm going to go straight down. I think I actually go through the Kate's Cup of Joe area again. I think they're starting to go, who is this guy? They were kind of looking at me funny. So anyways, I'm driving over here, and this will be what the vehicle did just once. You know, it does a U-turn here, and then it turns, and we'll be heading out onto, I forgot the name of the road, let's see, might be Port Drive. Yeah, I think it's Port Drive. And now we're headed to Albertsons. Sort of goes back the way he came, drove by Costco, but then passes Costco and goes straight. And then in here, a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 is seen traveling east through the Albertsons parking lot. That's exactly the direction we're going. And then eventually parking in the upper left corner of the screen. So that means there's a surveillance shot from Albertsons facing out towards the parking lot, and in the upper left hand portion of the screen of the surveillance footage is where he parked. So I would think somewhere right out here where I'm driving. And then he gets out and he actually enters the Albertsons via the east entrance, which is really the main entrance. It's the main one in front. There's one that kind of goes off to the left side. And then while he's inside, he's seen doing self-checkout, so there's probably a record of him, the timing of him on the camera, and that actual checkout station probably recorded what he purchased, and I'm sure law enforcement knows exactly what that is. It might not be anything nefarious at all, who knows. And then an individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen exiting the Albertsons via the east door. Alright, so that's the main door, which is right here. To me, that would be the main door, but they call it the east door. And there's another entrance and exit over here, just around this corner to the right. You can obviously pause it and look and see what it would look like. And then he exits the parking lot right here. And we're winding down on this video. So we're currently in Clarkston, and then we actually did a drive from Clarkston all the way to Wawaway Park. I don't know if you guys would be interested in going on that 360-degree travel. It's pretty amazing environment out there. All right. Well, thank you all very much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. And if you could hit that like button for me, I'd really appreciate it. Share the video and leave any comments of observations that you may have noticed. All right. So thank you very much for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.